Tommy, Phil, and Lil, along with Didi and Betty, are watching a diaper commercial and the twins were in. Didi points out the commercial and comments that the twins look adorable. Betty agrees, but admits the whole ordeal was a headache. As the two adults leave, Tommy asks the twins how they could be in the TV and in the living room at the same time, to which the twins respond that it's a commercial, or Marshall as Phil pronounces. Tommy asks what that is, and Lil corrects them both, saying commercial, and tells him it's when they take you to a big room, shine bright lights, and shoot you. Tommy gulps at the shooting part, so the twins explain more, and they have a flashback of it. In the flashback, Phil and Lil are riding a stroller that an excited Betty pushes into the director room. The studio is busy. As the diaper pyramid is being built, an assistant comes by and simply sneezes, causing the pyramid to fall over. Betty meets Bob, the assistant director, who introduces them to the clients, Mr. Snow, Mr. Steele, and Mr. Trickham. Betty tries to say hello, but Bob tells her they're advertising executives. They can't hear her. Soon, Jonathan Witt, the director, arrives with a group of people as he finishes a joke. They all laugh at it. Phil will wonder who he is, assuming he's some kind of clown. He calls Bob by the wrong name, Bud, forgetting who he is, and Bob reminds him of his name and that he's the husband of Jonathan's sister, making them brothers-in-law. As Bob tries to introduce the DeVilles, Jonathan completely ignores him and admires the diaper pyramid, astounded and mesmerized, saying it looks exactly how he dreamed it. As he gushes over the pyramid, Phil will assume he's not potty trained by his love for the diapers. Bob tries again to introduce the family, with Jonathan seemingly forgetting the twins were supposed to be in the commercial. Jonathan scolds the twins for being late, saying it's very unprofessional, possibly forgetting they're just 1-year-olds. When he takes a look at the twins, he has them go to the trailer and the other employees put makeup on their faces. The twins look at each other in horror as they wipe off the makeup. As soon as they do, it's just reapplied. When the twins are put on camera, Mr. Witt tells Phil to crawl to the box, look left, and smell at the camera. But as the camera rolls, Phil just stares blankly at it and remains static. So Bob gets Betty, who gives Lil to a fat guy she was having a discussion with, to get Phil to do his act. The camera is rolled once again, and Betty tries to encourage Phil to do his part, but Phil continues to sit without reacting. So Bob decides to get Lil in front of the camera instead, only to find out she has meandered off due to chasing after a toy car after the fat guy set her down on the floor. Betty angrily demands to know why the fat guy wasn't looking after Lil. I responds that she's crawling up an overhead catwalk, much to Betty's shock. As she helps other workers get the toddler off the catwalk, Phil uses the camera and turns it on. As one of the workers almost reaches Lil, Phil ends up taking a ride on the camera cart. The other worker finds out and runs to it, tipping the ladder down in the process as Lil ends up hanging from a crane. As the camera heads to the diaper pyramid, Mr. Witt jumps on the camera and narrowly stops it before it hits the pyramid as Lil lands on top of a cloud cushion unscathed. Betty gets her twins back, and Mr. Witt demands the DeVilles to get off his seat, saying that they almost destroyed a brilliant masterpiece, his beloved pyramid, and he further chastises the family, explaining that he's been in his business for 6 years, and at that time, nobody ever. But before Mr. Witt can finish his sentence, Lil's toy car lightly taps on one of the diaper boxes, causing Mr. Witt's praise pyramid of diaper boxes to collapse. Mr. Witt emerges from the pile of boxes and furiously yells at the twins that they'll never work in the showbiz again. The executives, who haven't been paying attention, call for a playback. The camera had in fact rolling the entire time and caught the twins' acts. Phil looking into the camera and winking, Lil flying around on the crane and landing on the clouds, and the twins smiling and waving at the camera, watching the pyramid fall and clapping. The execs, unaware that this wasn't scripted, love it and decide to take use footage, causing Mr. Witt to break down crying. As Phil and Lil conclude their story, Tommy then knows how they ended up on TV. Mr. Witt shows up at the DeVille's house begging for another commercial, but Betty refuses and slams the door, leaving Mr. Witt pleading incessantly as he asks the toddlers to remind Betty how much fun they had, offering candy to them, not realizing they are babies and can't talk yet. The toddlers crawl away, leaving Mr. Witt outside, begging. Lou plays golf with Tommy. Didi is looking for Tommy and asks Lou where he is, but Lou just ignores her. She finds him and tells Grandpa Lou that she's taking Tommy to school. Lou replies that Tommy is only 1 year old. She tells him that she's bringing Tommy as a learning aid for her home economics class at high school on how to diaper babies. Lou responds by claiming it is an experiment and Tommy is nothing but a monkey to her. He asks who he can play golf with. Didi then suggests that maybe Spike would like to play. Lou hits the ball to Spike, who just flops over and sleeps. Didi presents Tommy to her home ec class and presents their lesson of the day, how to take care of a baby. One of the students, Steve, asks what the smell in the room is, and Didi reveals it's the perfect step to their next lesson, how to change a dirty diaper, much to the other students' disgust. Didi then asks if there are any volunteers, but no one volunteers until Didi mentions it's extra credit. Many students volunteer, but none have the courage to change Tommy. Then enters Ramon, as he is tardy, a cool boy with a biker-esque appearance. Without saying a word, he removes Tommy's dirty diaper, rolls it up, and tosses it over his shoulder, where their students hastily toss it to one another until Steve throws it into a trash can. Ramon then wipes, powders, and tapes a fresh diaper onto Tommy's bottom. After this, Tommy grabs Ramon's sunglasses, much to the shock of the class. Rather than being angry, Ramon thinks that Tommy is a cool little baby and gives him the nickname Little Dude. As class ends, Didi thanks Ramon, who tells her that it was no problem as he is a little brother roughly Tommy's age. After class, 3 girls, one in a red dress with dirty blonde hair named Kirsten, one in a purple dress with black hair and a headband named Pamela, and one with green pants and a beige sweater with brown hair named Stephanie, ask Didi if they can play with Tommy for a while. Didi says they can watch him over her lunch break and tells them to bring him back to the lounge if he gets fussy. The girls wander around campus and notice the football player they were gossiping about. When he asks if Tommy is Kirsten's new boyfriend, she places Tommy on a truck behind them before responding. As they continue to talk, the truck drives away. When the football player points out Tommy isn't there anymore, the girls become horrified. The truck stops elsewhere on campus, giving Tommy the chance to get off. The girls decide to split up to look for Tommy. Kirsten asks if Tommy can walk yet, which her friends are unable to answer. Just as they were splitting up, Tommy crawls behind them and waves goodbye. At the gym, there's a student practicing basketball. Pam walks by looking for Tommy. Tommy walks into the gym looking at the kid playing basketball who is constantly missing the net. Tommy exits the gym, dropping a banana peel in the process. As the basketball player is preparing for the next shot, he slips on the banana peel and actually makes a basket. In the library, we see Tommy is walking on one of the bookshelves. He accidentally steps onto someone's pile of books but quickly jumps back into the shelf. But the student with the books slips, knocking down several shelves and almost hitting the librarian. Tommy then finds his way to the shop class where Ramon studies car repair. Ramon asks if the lunch bell rang yet, to which his teacher says it rang 20 minutes ago, and that Ramon ought to take a break and enjoy lunch. As Ramon is leaving, he drops his comb and Tommy picks it up. He's about to return it to Ramon, who throws a towel onto Tommy without noticing him. The girls are then meeting up again after failing to find Tommy. Kirsten suggests thinking like a baby, to which Stephanie crawls around on the floor again into character while her friends give her an annoyed look. Inside the cafeteria, Tommy is under one of the tables, eating a cup of pudding. He reaches up to the table for another cup when he accidentally hits a spoon, sending a glob of pudding flying. He accidentally hits the same football player from earlier, number 12. Number 12. Angry because his uniform was just washed, thinks that Ramon did it because he is seen eating pudding. In addition to ignoring number 12, he demands to know who threw the pudding. He responds by throwing mashed potatoes at Ramon. Silently. Furiously. Ramon and number 12 take turns smearing each other with food until everyone in the cafeteria is involved in a massive food fight. Number 12 notices Tommy and grabs him from under a table. Ramon briefly halts the fight, takes Tommy from the football player, leaves the cafeteria with him, and lets the fight be resumed. Food flies again as soon as Ramon and Tommy are outside the cafeteria. He then meets the 3 girls who are gracious that Ramon found Tommy, who has retaken Ramon's sunglasses. Kirsten takes Tommy from Ramon and gets his sunglasses back. Ramon and Kirsten look into each other's eyes and see stars falling for one another. Didi then finds them all. and all three girls say they have a much better understanding of raising children. Later in the evening, Didi and Tommy are at home, and Tommy is eating dinner. Didi says the trip to school is very educational for students, and Lou asks Tommy what he learned at school. Tommy responds by throwing mashed potatoes at Lou, who laughs and says that Tommy has quite an arm, as he said earlier when Tommy threw him his golf ball back.